For a very long time, anyone who wished to immigrate to Canada had to successfully pass what's called the immigration system. And although it covers a lot of things, there are many problems that it faces. Today, we will be trying to implement new ideas and adjustments to try and fix these problems. Take a look.
We should focus more on education and employment rather than the age of the immigrant. Someone who is 35 years old can have a very good education and experience. They may have the same amount of education as someone who is 45. The 45-year-old will just have more experience. Think of it this way. Would you rather have an immigrant who is 25 years old and has very little education and experience, or a 35-year-old with more experience and education? Obviously, we would want someone with a better experience and a higher education. This is why we should look at education and employment rather than the age.
Many more languages will join English and French as preferred languages. This way, immigrants who immigrate to Canada could actually have somewhat of an advantage, as opposed to a disadvantage. While Canadians may very well be extremely fluent in English, they for sure would not be the same when it comes to talking or negotiating with a foreign company. Immigrants who speak these languages will have a much easier time doing this. While the current immigration system does cover a lot of things, there are a few things that they lack. One of these things are what immigrants want in their life, what they want their lifestyle to be like. Whether it's rural or urban or suburban, or when they plan on retiring. These are all aspects that should be known when considering whether someone will be able to enter Canada or whether they won't be able to enter.
Since in our current world many people are retiring much later than before, with many retiring in their 70s. Immigrants who are nearing retirement age, which is currently 65 years old, would fill out a contract on the year they wish to retire. Based on how long they plan to continue working, we would give a certain number of points based on how long they will be working here when they arrive in Canada.
The job or profession the immigrant has should play a very big role in the point system. We should grant more points to those who have a more challenging or higher paying job. The more important the job is to Canada's economy, the more points we should get. For example, someone in the business or engineering field would get more points than a custodian. The higher demand for the job in Canada, the more points you will get.
Since not every job takes or needs the same amount of skills, not every job should be given the same amount of points. Take, for example, a doctor. His job takes much more experience and expertise, while say for example, a janitor, his job takes substantially less skill and should be met with less points as well.
Many companies prefer people who are Canadian citizens when hiring members and usually turn away many immigrants who would be equally as qualified. Because of this, it can become extremely difficult for an immigrant to get a job when they first arrive in Canada. A way we can counteract this is to do something similar to what we do for those with disabilities. As you might know, the government promotes companies that hire people with disabilities. The same thing could be done for immigrants. If this happens, it would give immigrants a higher chance to be selected for a job, making it easier for the transition to Canada. And that's all. We hope you liked our new modified version of the immigration system. We believe that this version will patch up many of the holes in the previous immigration system. We hope you enjoyed.